Good job, it's King Stephen. We got a new JJK chapter, chapter 169. This is definitely on the oddball side of like stuff that we got in the chapter. Mainly, it's a very Takaba focused one, which is kind of what I expected. But he did kind of reveal a couple minuscule things for like Hanazuki and kind of like the things that he kind of represents as a character. But let's go ahead and get up into it and see what we got in store. Off rip, we got Takaba's introduction, kind of like mainly as an official entry into the cunning game. I know we got it way back in like I think 149, but we find out obviously he's a 36-year-old man. He's labeled a comedy sorcerer, in which his Yutori evaluation, I don't know exactly what that is, but that's mainly a Japan thing. He judges who's evil or not based on the glances that he gets at people's faces. So he thinks Megumi looks evil, but he's still a good guy. While he looks at Reggie and Hazanoki as the bad guys, and Reggie and Hazanoki are, they're thrown off a bit, which I would expect. Hazanoki tried to ask him, well, you're telling us who's good and bad, then which one are you? But it's cut off by Takaba saying, you're asking if I'm funny or not, right? Which is a callback to chapter 149, where one of his, like, I believe it was one of his partners, one of the people that worked in like the little comedy hall was talking to him and kind of making a statement on comedy. And also Takaba's suit is a homage to a comedian he idolizes, which is based on a real comedian in Japan. And I probably put a picture up in the video so you can see like whether the inspiration kind of. And now he looks at all three of them in a way, and he just tells this guy awful like corny joke about like business and Wi-Fi, which clearly it was supposed to be like terrible, because Reggie, Hazanoki, and Megumi, they're looking at him like he's a weirdo. And Takaba calls Reggie and Hazanoki a crappy audience, but he won't abandon them because he's a comedian. Meanwhile, Megumi thinks of Toto in the situation because they all give off the same vibe, comparing him to Takaba. And I mean, he's not completely off. I mean, they are both, a little weird in their own right, but they're obviously both strong as hell. I'll be getting to the meat of things with the battle that pretty much lasts the rest of this chapter. Takaba hits Hazanoki with a mean drop kick, sends him flying. Reggie notices the spike in Takaba's curse technique, speed, and his range of output is extraordinary. Now, we still don't know exactly what the details of his curse energy is, or his curse technique, I should say, but definitely it is obviously something physical based. He's definitely giving himself like buffs with his curse energy, his physical. I mean, when he hit him with the drop kick, he sent Hazanoki like a really nice distance, and he sent him crashing into a wall. So it's obviously definitely like a physical thing. I don't know like how strong he can get with it, but we'll just have to see, I guess, later on through the fight. And Megumi tried to sneak Reggie from his shadow from below, but Reggie dodged. Takaba says something I didn't think of when I first saw Hazanoki, but it really makes sense. So he says Hazanoki, with his explosive ability, he uses reverse curse techniques to heal himself, and which when you see Hazanoki again, you see that his eyes brought back and his teeth, I guess, are brought back too. So him having reverse curse technique, that really shows that like Hazanoki's pretty strong. I mean, that's definitely like a beneficial combo. And Hazanoki's definitely up there for like side characters that are like low-key strong. Now Megumi sees that Yuji got the job done with his points and the rule change with Higuruma, and says, alright, I'm out of here. I don't need to spend more time in this colony with these weirdos around me. And Reggie and Hazanoki tell both Takaba and Megumi that you guys ain't going anywhere, and etc. Usual spiel. So Megumi says to Takaba, do me a favor, I need you to take that guy Hazanoki's points if you can. Takaba accepts, but as a comedian, he won't do something that permanently takes away someone's smile, which definitely you can see because Takaba has 0 points, so he's really against killing people. Hazanoki and Takaba battle. Hazanoki shoots a tooth and an eye, but Takaba reflects it with like some type of pocket fan thing. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the name of like what exactly this is, but if you know, let me know in the comments. And he hits him with the fan, and which means whatever his ability is can also be activated with whatever he touches or whatever weapon he has. He gets behind Hazanoki, and this dude just, I don't know what's up with Japanese comedy, but apparently this is like a thing for comedians back in the day, and Naruto took inspiration from this. But apparently sticking your fingers up someone's ass is a popular thing for comedians to do, I guess. But because Takaba with his enhanced curse energy and physical speed gives Hazanoki the Kakashi 1,000 years of death treatment, and then kicks him literally in his ass into the building next to them. Hazanoki, he might be out of commission, I don't know, but that's I mean, if he is, that's one hell of a way to get knocked out. And then the chapter ends with Megumi telling Reggie again that I did what I needed to do here. Now I can fight you earnestly, and that's how the chapter ends. Now let's go ahead and get into like my thoughts about this whole thing. Overall, as a chapter, I gotta say, like, it was definitely a different direction, which is kind of like what Takaba brings in his character. He's gonna like shake up like the seriousness and kind of like add his own comedic vibe to it, which that's honestly like, I like characters that when they're integrated in certain stories or like certain segments of arcs, it feels like the whole thing can change, whether that's for like the good or the bad, or maybe like just for like a small moment. I kind of like that because it gives like these characters a presence and gives them kind of like a personality in its own right, to where they add another dynamic to whatever's going on right now. And I think Takaba, like, for like a somewhat gag character and a character that isn't supposed to be like, I guess, quote unquote, super serious at the moment, I like what he brought to the chapter. It was a definite like different feel. And I think the thing that he kind of like did what was kind of cool the most for me was definitely like his curse technique, and like, you know, we don't know it yet, but like how he uses it, and the fact that he's against killing people, which, you know, I thought that was gonna be something a little different when it came to that notion for him, because when we first saw his character back in 149 or 148, whichever one it is, and we saw like kind of how he looked like a character that was gonna be kind of like a in between of like, he'll be kind of like different in morality. He kind of looks at things a little different. Maybe he would kill someone depending on how he feels or whatever he's going through, but he's definitely like a good guy character to the bone. He's not necessarily like someone now to, you know, as we got confirmation, he's not going to be someone who's going to do anything that's just outrightly like evil. So that's going to be something to see later on. And I wonder if like we're going to get more of him with Megumi, possibly, because I don't know if he's going to be following him. I kind of doubt it. I wouldn't really necessarily see the purpose of bringing him with Megumi. And I don't know how he's going to get his points, because although he said he wanted to get him, but now we have the transfer rule, which basically is equating that whole you have to kill for points. You can possibly negotiate for points, so I'm gonna see where that kind of leads. I don't know how far we can go with that, because Hazanoki doesn't come up as a character that he's willing to give points unless Reggie is too. So I think that whole notion of Hazanoki giving points is gonna be all predicated on whatever Reggie does. And then we got Megumi versus Reggie coming soon, which we're finally gonna be able to see next chapter probably what exactly is Reggie's technique, which, if I had to guess, is definitely a whatever's on the receipt. He can kind of summon through the receipts like he did with the gasoline. And Megumi, this chapter was definitely playing more of a background role, because obviously this was Takaba's shine. This was his moment to kind of introduce himself as a character fully. And I gotta say, I enjoyed this chapter overall. I think it was it was kind of like a slow down pace a little bit, but he was still escalating. We were still progressing through the plot more. And honestly, I feel like 171, that's gonna be the chapter where I feel like something's gonna happen. Not necessarily game changing or huge, but something's gonna happen for a character or to a character that could really, you know, impact the direction of the Culling game, in the sense of, you know, somebody's gonna end up, you know, impacted by it or change. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm predicting. I'm expecting 171 to be the chapter where a big character shift or moment is gonna happen. But yeah, definitely 169 felt like a little cool down chapter. Let me know how you felt about it in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it as well, you know, how you feel about Takaba, how you feel about his whole vibe being a convenience sorcerer and whatnot, what you think gonna happen in the next chapter, you know, everything about that, Hazanoki having reverse curse technique, you know, all of that. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section down below. I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Peace.